your second spell at Southampton, we kind of listen. I think we said before, like you joined, we could sit here for absolutely hours and talk to you about Southampton.
Yeah.
But we wanted to talk to you specifically about the second spell.
Yeah.
Because we're approaching the anniversary of the 2015 playoff final. But so when you came back to the club in the January of that season, but it took you a while to get back in, didn't it? Did you kind of feel what was the point of you being back for a spell?
Yeah, it was a weird one because it was all song and dance and Phil Brown at the time, want you back at the club, we're trying to get promotion, final push and all that. So it was great. It was perfect for me. I'm dying to come back. I wanted to finish my career at the football club. So I was really excited and had the hunger. And I come back, I got a little calf injury, first training session, which put me out of the first weekend, which was disappointed. But I was back fit within 10 days to 2 weeks. And I didn't see what he brought me back for, because to be honest, I was back fit and he never put me in, Phil Brown, manager at the time, just sat me in the stands. I couldn't understand what was, I was playing regular elsewhere and I was dying to come back to Southend, but I wouldn't have come back if I was just going to be sitting there as a cheerleader. And that's what I thought I was at the time. And I was really, frustrated at it. And I was a bit embarrassed as well, because it was, a big hoopla about me coming back, and I was so hungry to come back in and do well. And then he just sort of sat me in the stand. So I'm not 100% sure that he actually really wanted me back, to be honest.
So did you feel that there was maybe, because you hear rumours that like, he wasn't signed by the manager, and like that's not just to you. You hear things all the time that someone above the manager's gone and signed a player, whatever. Did you feel like that might have happened, and Phil Brown to a degree put a front on it when he was talking to you? Because he must have sort of put on this charade to try and sign you, that he wanted you, and then when he's got you, didn't seem interested.
Yeah, it was. I don't know the ins and outs, but at the time he was very, very keen. We sat and we met and we chatted, and full of my praises. I'd just played against Liverpool in the FA Cup from Wimbledon and done well, and he was, singing me praises and what he felt I could do and bring to the team and the supporters and everything, get a feel-good factor back. And then it just all sort of went very, very flat very quickly. And I did for many a time just think, what am I doing here? I couldn't understand it. I just couldn't get my head around it. I didn't feel that he wanted me. I must admit, I didn't feel that he really wanted me at the club. And we had many conversations. He took me out, even we went to Wimbledon away, and he just never spoke to us, just sat me in the stands. And I just thought, what am I doing? I'm 35, had all this career. What are you doing to us? I was travelling to Portsmouth, remember, away, Oxford away, and just going along, and I was sitting in the stands, and I just thought, this is not how I wanted my career to. So yeah, there might be questions. I don't know. I've spoke to Phil many a time, but never got a real answer. But me personally, do I think he really wanted me at the club? No, I don't. No, I don't think he did. And it was funny. The only time because I come back in Mansfield at home, and I only come back into the team, and that was only because Luke Prosser got knocked out the week before.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason that I played on that Saturday. And for 10 weeks, I was 35. I was just sort of rotting away, training. I had no. It was like there was no point me even being at the football club, and it was really sad. It was difficult. It was a real tough 10 weeks or whatever for us. I found it really, really mentally difficult to get my head round, because there was no way I would have come back to Southend if I didn't think I could have made an impact as well. There was no way from my first spell I would not have come back if I didn't think I could have an impact and to come back and just be like a spare part. I was like, well, what is this all about?
It's so odd. But he's done that so many times. He's done that with so many players at different clubs. He just does it. It's so odd.
It's I think it's well documented. Me and Phil at the end, and but I just
you spoke to him since you left. Have you spoke to him since?
No. I've only seen him twice, but no, I haven't spoke to him. And he's, I've spoke to him many a time before I left. Had a few conversations, but I just felt that he didn't really want me at the football club for whatever reason that was. He didn't want me there, and then when he did, because I come in and done well for him, I just felt he used me. I thought he used me for what he wanted, and that's the honest truth. And then the way it ended, after that, for me it was just, it was a disgrace really. But no, at the time it was a frustrating period, and I really didn't feel that I was wanted at the club by the manager. That's the truth.
It was obviously bad management in that sense, but do you think it was just maybe because you was a senior player, he didn't want to address it, or do you think if he was a youngster, he would have said, "Look, I don't really want you, and this is it." But because you was probably a senior player, well respected.
I really can't answer that. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I sat with him and had many conversations. I remember just sitting here and go, "What is the point of me being here? What you?" And he'd never give me an answer. Didn't really know. We'd sit in there and he'd blame me. Oh, you picked up an injury. I was out for 10 days, like weeks and weeks ago. Come back here to play. Come back here to be involved. And I didn't come back here to. I don't know. I really don't know what the reason for it.
But you're not even on the bench. You're not even sub. You're just in the stands.
I weren't involved, and like I said, the only reason I remember I was sat in the stands when Luke Prosser got knocked out, got hit in the face with a ball, and so sorry for Luke. Great guy, really liked the lad, and I was disappointed for him because at the time I thought, well, what am I doing here? And it was only that week he had no choice but to play me. There was no one else. There was no one else, and I thought. I thought as well he was he'd hung me out to dry really for 10 weeks, no game, nothing, and for a 35-year-old that's not ideal. So at the Mansfield game I was determined to come in and prove my point. I thought, well, okay, if you're going to go down that route, I'm going to play my game and I'm going to make it impossible for you to leave me out. And
well, I think you certainly proved the point, because on that Mansfield game, aside from you started the game alongside Adam Thompson, but he went off injured after about 10 minutes. He dislocated his shoulder. Kean Bolger comes in, and we won 7 games in a row from that point, and we kept 7 clean sheets in a row. I think that was point proven, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he just really angry. I was angry. I must admit, when I come back in the team, I was really angry. I was delighted to make me to come back and play again. But it was just the way it was done. I was disappointed for Luke because Pross, he's got injured and didn't like to see that. So I got my opportunity, and I'm not 21 anymore. I'm 35, and I just thought the way the manager went about it, I went into the team really angry, and it was almost a bit of, right, okay, we're going to play this game. Well, I'm just going to go out and play my game, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved being back out there. Bulge, I know, had a tough time.
Yeah, he hadn't done too well. That's what I was going to say. How much did you sort of enjoy that partnership? Because you both seemed to really thrive alongside each other. Because to say, Kean Bolger he'd struggled for any sort of form until that point.
Yeah, it's like anything. When you understand people and understand, Bolger was a young lad at the time. He just needed a bit of help, needed a bit of guidance. He needed someone to believe in him. And he'd come in. I really rated him as a centre half. He had a lot of attributes. A nice lad. Talked to him the right way. I got on really well with him as the other lads. But with Bulge, I just thought he just needed a little bit of help. And I thought we complemented each other. And all of a sudden, you give someone a little bit of confidence, a little bit of belief. And we had a good partnership. And like I said, the ending of the season, it went from absolute, I thought I was in the abyss. I was in Siberia, thinking, where am I getting out of here? So then all of a sudden, it was just a magical ending. And it was, but I was so, like I said, I was real determined. I think I was lucky and I picked up Player of the Month, the PFA Player of the Month, and that for me was a real feather in my cap, and maybe a little bit against Phil's to say, what you've been doing with me for the last 10 weeks. I knew I could come back and have an impact at the club. I was so hungry to do well. It was my club. It was a big gamble from my point of view. Coming back at 35, a lot of question marks. People going, oh, he's too old. He's this. Everyone, wanting to have a pop. So there was a bit of pressure on my shoulders as well. But I loved it. Coming back, it was fantastic. And like I said, we had a great relationship at the back. And kept a lot of clean sheets and a terrific run-in to the end of the season.
Yeah. But you mentioned...
I was just going to say, I remember that period of time, probably after about 3 games. As fans, we just knew we weren't going to concede.
Yeah.
Because you see the two centre halves, especially obviously Bentley behind as well, the solid back 4. You just knew we weren't going to concede, and it bred confidence, I think, for the team. Yeah,
it's funny that because you get that feeling yourself. I've been in spells in lots of teams, and you go through little spells like that, and it was exactly the same. Going into every game, I just thought, no, we ain't getting beat here. We're not getting beat. No one's going to get past us. The confidence was high. Like I said, there was that real determination there. We had a good group of lads, and worked extremely hard on the training pitch. And I know from my point of view, there was definitely a little bit of a point to prove, and so I was going out there with a little bit of an angry head on and determined, focused. But it was also, I didn't want to come back and embarrass yourself.
Mayer and Barrett with the header, and Barrett gets the 3rd, and that is that. Oxford have been taught a lesson. They're behind by 3-0. Adam Barrett continues to find the back of the net.
You actually announced your retirement in between coming back, obviously sat in the stands, not doing anything. Before you was it before you got back in that Mansfield game as you announced it then?
Yeah, it was.
I can't remember the time frame.
And the reason I'd done it, obviously I was at a stage in my career, 35, whatever it was, and because I'd come back to Southend, I wanted to finish my career at Southend. It wasn't going the way that I wanted it to. And I'd come out to make a statement because I thought at that precise moment in time, I thought Phil Brown was retiring me. And in my head, I was like, there's no way I'm going to let someone else retire me, because he was retiring me by sitting me in the stands every week.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. So for me, it was, no, I'm going to take control of my own. It's my career. I've worked extremely hard over 20 years. I'm not letting someone else play me and mess about with my career and end it. So I actually come out and made the decision because I thought, no, I need to take some sort of control back here of my own future. I was like, right, okay, if you're going to do this to me, right, I'm coming out and I'll announce I'm going to retire. Because if I hadn't, and Luke Prosser hadn't got injured, Phil Brown probably would have retired me that season, which is really sad to say, because I only had hunger and desire to come back and play for Southend at that precise moment in time. I had other interests, I had a few other clubs, but at that precise moment in my career and my life, I was only interested in coming back and playing for Southend. So the way he was treating me, it was like, well, I'm not letting him put me into, hanging my boots up. Yeah. So that was the reason, that was the God's honest truth reason why I come out and said, right, I'm retiring. So at least it felt like I was making a decision. Deep down, I didn't want to, because I knew I still wanted to play for the club. But the way it was going, I thought, well, I've got no choice here, because the way it was going, he was going to retire me. There was no way I was going to be there the next year, because he didn't want me there anyway. So that's why I come out. And I remember the news broke, and we had Wimbledon away, travelled up. Like I said, he never even spoke to us and just sat me in the stand. And that was, at that precise moment in time, I thought, well, I've done the right thing. Because at least I'm making the decision on what I'm doing.
Not even talking to you. It's so childish. It's playground stuff.
Yeah, everyone's
playground stuff.
Everyone's got their ways of doing it. And, managers are all different. I've played with managers that talk to you, some that don't. I was just very, very disappointed point at that stage for everything I'd done for the football club as well, and he brought me back, and I don't know, I just thought I deserved a little bit more respect than that.
No, definitely. So we went on that incredible run. It ended up not being enough to get in the top 3 in League Surf. It's top 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
We lost to Morecambe on the final day. Was there a case of deja vu for yourself with the Grimsby game from about 11 years before?
Yeah,
it felt like that for me.
Yeah, don't mention Grimsby. God, yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a little bit. I mean, I spoke about this a few times. It was such a fantastic end to the season, and it was weird because Morecambe, when I can't remember how many took up to Morecambe, but the away.
I think we had more than the home fans. I think we had more than half the attendance.
Even the warm up gives me goosebumps. Even now, the supporters were amazing, and we went all that way and just couldn't quite. It didn't go for us that day, and we got beat. And walking off, but the thing is, chaps, I was stood there. Part of me was actually, I was a little bit pleased on a selfish point, because at the stage I was at, I'd come back to the club that I love. I've never played at Wembley. I've been to Cardiff a couple of times when Wembley was getting built. And I was so confident, drawing back from the Grimsby experience, but then we went through and I thought, it's my only chance now I'm going to play at Wembley. This is my only chance. So if you'd have given me, I know a lot of supporters wouldn't have took the chance, but if you'd have given me, right, you're going to lose at Morecambe, but you're going to go and play at Wembley and win, I would have took that gamble at that stage of my career. And I was so determined to get there. I actually sat back a day later and got, no, I'm happy with this. I'm fully focused. I'm going to make sure now, we're going to make sure we're going to Wembley. Because that for me was just the icing on the cake of a career. And so that for me was, I weren't too disappointed. And because like you're older now, your years of experience, I wasn't too down. The Grimsby one, going back, I was devastated after, absolutely devastated. That was a tough journey home. Whereas the Morecambe one, I was a lot more upbeat and positive about it. I mean, we had a real good group. The guys were brilliant, and I must admit, a big part of them kept me going as well, really, because the enthusiasm they all had, they're younger lads, and I come in, I just loved it, and I just thought. But no, they were down. Yeah, of course they were. We've been on a fantastic run, and all of a sudden you get beat, and it's difficult to pick yourself up and go again. I remember, go back to the first one, we got beat at Grimsby. I think we was like 17 unbeaten, and we went into the LDV final and got beat, and that derailed us. We couldn't win a game after that. I think we had to win 1 in 5, and we didn't win a game. And so there's always that little bit of concern when you get beat. It's how you bounce back. But from the stage I was at and mentally where I was at, I was so confident. I thought, no, we're fine. We're going to go. We'll win this. We knew we had a tough test ahead, but we had, like I said, we had a good group. The confidence was so high. A few young lads needed picking up in training, but it was all still fully focused on getting out the league. And what a carrot at the end to go to Wembley. It's that's what you want as a player.
We only got ourselves ahead in the whole tie against Stevenage in extra time. So so you've gone into those playoff semis like quite confident, like you said, you've got this big carrot of getting to Wembley, but we've drawn the first leg, that we've come from behind again in the second leg. Is there any point you're thinking like the chance has actually gone, or even during the games were you still pretty confident we were going to do it?
No, I was confident. I was quite relaxed, to be honest, in the games. I think the big thing in playoff games is not to panic and drawing back on experience. When we got beat at Doncaster in the semis a few years ago, I think that game turned on its head very quickly. James Walker could have scored down the end, should have scored. We go down, give away a penalty literally a minute after. Peter Clark, unfortunately, we go 1-0 down. I think we went chasing. I think we panicked all of a sudden. Right, we've got to get back into it now. And went chasing. And fair play to Doncaster that night. They was magnificent and fully deserved it. But so I think this one, in playoff games, you can't go chasing. You can't panic. You've got to stay calm. You've got to stick to your game plan. I love playoff games. It's there. It's all or nothing. It's on the line. But no, I was very, very confident, and I still thought we just had enough. I thought if we stayed in the game, stay solid, stay compact, I just thought we had too much for Stevenage in the end, and it proved to be. But no, I was like I said, that game, there was nothing in my mind. Even though we fell behind, come back, went to extra time, I was like, no, this is our night. We're going to go and win this one. They never, very rarely do you just run away with a playoff.
Yeah.
They're always tight affairs, and it's always a little moment that can change the game. And I know Barry Corr's penalty, and there was little things like that, and people, oh no, but I still felt that we had enough there to go and win the game, and enough quality in the team, which we did do.
It's strange because even as a fan, I remember feeling the same. I was so nervous with the away leg.
Yeah.
When we come out of that, and I was like, we're level. I was very, very confident going into the home leg.
Yeah,
coming out of the first leg unscathed, I was like, no, I'm pretty confident we're at least going to get to Wembley.
Yeah, I think if you can go away from home and you're coming back with, Stevenage at the time was a tough place to go as well. Some good players there, and it was a difficult place. But when we go, I felt the same. I thought Roots Hall was really strong for us. There's nothing better under the lights, packed house. It's brilliant, great atmosphere. It had the feeling of, I said many times, and that little running had the feeling of my first spell when we was back-to-back promotions and the cup games. It just had that little buzz about it again. It was great to turn up as a player and feel that energy. And I agree with you. I was just even when we, they scored, it weren't panic. It weren't panic. It was like, no, we've got this. We'll be fine. Just keep to doing what we're doing. So it was, just fantastic to experience Roots Hall like that again. I'd missed it for the years that I was away, and to come back and have a night when people are pouring on the pitch, and it was, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Just quickly, do you think psychologically we had a bit of a beating of them that night because of Michael Timlin playing, or did you not really think that had anything to do with it?
I mean, look, great bravery from Tim's, and fantastic that he put his body on the line. I don't know if that had anything to do with the result. I just thought we had the beating of them because I felt we had more quality within the squad.
Yeah.
But within our team, we've got more players that can win us a game than what they did. And I thought all round we were stronger. Did they expect Tim's to play? Probably not. They probably didn't expect him to play. And I don't think
anyone expected him to play.
No, I mean, after the first one, I mean, the cut was horrendous. But fair play, he's adamant he wanted to play, and he went through it. And
that's 4 days later. He's played 4 days later.
It's horrendous. Like I said, a terrible, terrible cut. But I think that just shows the type of squad that we were at the time, and fair play to him. He wanted to play. So I think they probably looked at the team sheet and went, "Oh my God, is this guy all right? Is there something wrong with him?"
He's a lunatic.
This fella ain't all there in the head. But no, like I said, I don't know whether that had anything to do with it. I just thought we were a better team. I thought over 2 legs we would have too much for them.
Like you say, we had quality in the team. So when it came to actual football, I think we was 10 times better than them. Yeah,
they've like I said, they're always a difficult team to play against, Stevenage. They were, not so much at the moment, but big physical side. you know what's coming. You expect it. So you've got to stand up to that. And I think if you can stand up to that and match them to that, but they had some good players there at the time. They had some quality like Charlie Lees and Chris Welkdale. They've got some guys that could win a game. Good quality.
Dean Parrott, was he there?
Yeah, they've got, like I said, they had some technically good players. I just thought, we had enough. We had enough to do them, and thankfully we did.
So you've did you not feeling smug, but you've stood there after the end of the Morecambe game thinking, I want to play at Wembley. Now like you're playing at Wembley. Are you like a kid in a sweet shop?
I wouldn't say smug, but I was very happy. I was a bit of relief as well. Don't get me wrong. There was a bit of relief there because it was, it's just, for me, at that stage, it's quite difficult to sort of put in. I found it all a little bit emotional in a sense, because of the stage of my career that I was at. When I come back to the club, the way I was sort of treated at the start, to now get yourself back in the team, and we had a fantastic run and sort of turn it into, it went from a disaster into, you know, this sort of fairy tale sort of ending for myself. And it was, it's just, yeah, it was magical. I come back to help the club try and get promoted again. That's what I come back for. And I come back to see Roots all buzzing again and have the town enthusiastic and for nights like the Stevenage game. And that for me was, you know, it was a fantastic thing to be involved with. And for an aging footballer whose career's, you know, in the twilight years, it was a magical moment to finally do it. So I think it was more relief than anything. I think I must have slept for 2 days after, just on the shore of pure exhaustion, mentally and physically. But it was great. It was great. But in saying that, it was, you know, you finally get there, you go, right, I'm going to play at Wembley, which I've never managed to do in your long career, but we still had a job to do. You know, it weren't over, and there was still that focus. No, Wembley's only enjoyable if you go and win. It ain't no fun to win and lose.
It was like, so, because I can't really remember anything of that game. It was like so nerve-wracking. Like, even from the first whistle, you're almost watching it through your fingers, like you're scared to look. So it's only through watching it back, like several times I've watched it back since, it was quite a good game. It was a pretty end-to-end game. It was, as you said, like with the Stevenage game, you know, these are two teams that have been at the top of the league for a reason. Like, they're good, solid teams. So it was a good game, but yeah, I just don't remember any of it because I was just like so nervous that anything was going to go wrong. And then the little things that start going against you. Sorry?
You weren't drunk, were you?
Do you know what? I don't think I could. I think you just drink and nothing was happening because you were so nervous. You're almost like sweating it out. It was nerve-wracking. And then all the little things that go against you, like Barry Core gets a goal ruled out for a push.
Yeah.
We have a certain penalty waved away. They score a very fortunate, like it bounces off Dan's head, doesn't it? And it goes in. There's all those little things go against you, and you just think, it's happening again. Like, I was at the two games in Cardiff that we lost, and you just, I'm getting sick of like being in these big stadiums and hosting someone else's party.
Yeah.
But what did, as a player, what did it feel like when Joe Pigott scored?
I'm going to talk about that now. It gives me goosebumps when Pig scored. It was because I think we all felt it at the time. Time was running out, obviously, and it was hard to see where we were going to get a goal from. It was difficult, but I mean, I was up that end. I think I either made a late foray forward or I was too tired to get back. Can't remember what it was, but I was in the box and when it come in, and it felt like the place was shaking. It was just ridiculous. You know, grown people crying and we hadn't even won. You know, we hadn't even won. You know, but, I mean, my wife, she was filming bits on her iPad and that, and I've got like my sister-in-law. They're not even that into football. She's in the aisle with a scarf and everyone kissing each other and hugging each other and people you don't even know. And it was just like I said, it's one of them goosebump moments where that half of Wembley just went off and it was mental. So it was an amazing feeling. But then in the back of it, we was there and it was like, all right, we ain't won nothing. You know, all we've done is take it to penalties. But it was. Yeah, it was a real roller coaster of emotions, but it was, you know, it's one of them moments that will live with us all, you know. Forever.
It just happened in slow motion, didn't it? I can still picture it exactly, because I was pretty much right behind the goal, and I can still picture it exactly as I saw it at the time, and it just happened in slow motion because it went through about 3 players' legs.
Yeah,
like, perfect through the eye of a needle.
It wasn't like a real powerful shot. I mean, he done really well to control it, to keep the ball. It was a great technique. And like you said, it was like slow motion. And even I can picture watching it now as it went past. I followed the ball as it went past, and it was just such a relief to see it go in the net. And it was, you know, the drama of it, it's great, isn't it? You know,
I had to have a little split second look for the linesman's flag to make sure I could start celebrating.
I didn't even see it. I was just off. I was off. I didn't even see it. I was gone. So it was great. One of them great football moments.
I know I did, and I think Scott's the same. As fans, when we equalised, we actually turned to each other and said, "We're going to win this." Yeah. Was that the same for the players? Was you like, we're not losing this now?
Yeah, I did. I think you do get that sense, when you have something so late, like supporters, and you get that feeling. And think of Wycombe, like the Wycombe players. They're literally 20 seconds away, whatever it is. They're up. That's it. It's done. They think they've won the game, and all of a sudden it's just like a hammer blow, whack off. So we actually go into the penalties on a bit of a high and a bit of they're going in probably a little bit deflated. Believe it or not, it's hard. Then have we thrown this away? Have we thrown this? So I think there was definitely a belief there, but with penalties, as it's so difficult. It's you can't call it. But I was actually really enjoying it. I thought, I love the drama. This is great. At my age, it was fantastic. I was like, oh yeah, brilliant. I was confident. But you still, it's lap of the gods then, isn't it? I'm just pleased that the majority of the fans stayed and not 15,000 had walked out. Only a few hundred. It's
weird. I don't actually know of anyone personally that did leave. You see the bits of footage that people had left, but yeah, I hope they were just like a few of the day trippers, so to speak. I hope they weren't any of like the loyal fan base, because that would have been unforgivable. If we were getting hammered, I might have understood, but at 1-0, you never leave at 1-0.
If we were getting hammered, I might have been one of the ones walking out. I'd have been done, but no. So and then you go to the nerve-wracking drama of
the shootout. So how does that work? Because you take one in sudden death. I think you were the first of sudden death.
Yeah.
How does that work with sudden death takers? Do they get decided sort of at the same time as the initial 5, or is it a bit like when the time comes, who fancies one?
I think when it goes later on, it's almost who fancies one. I think. But first of all, the manager just says who wants to take one. So we had quite a lot of people want to take one. I volunteered. I'll take one, but you probably go for the centre forwards and the more technical ones. First up. So anyway, picked the first 5, and I went, yeah, I'll take them. I'll take the sudden death one, not a problem. I can't really remember how it worked from that. I think from that moment, you're just thinking about your penalty, your situation. Getting your mind right on when it comes to it. You've got to make sure you're focused and right. So, but the first 5 definitely, and I knew that I was the first one of sudden death. I said, yeah, I'll take the next one.
That's a pressure penalty. First one of sudden death as well. That is a big pressure penalty.
I was a little bit disappointed I weren't in the 5, to be honest. Because I just thought, no, we'd been practicing in the week, and I was confident. I thought, no, I'm not. People talk about you want to lead, you lead from the front. So I was like, yeah, no, give me a penalty, not a problem. But yeah, the first one's when it comes to it, you think, oh, is it really going to get to the sudden death? Might not make it. At the start, you're a little bit relaxed. Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll take the sudden death one. I'm all right, nice and relaxed. And then when it ticks closer to you're like,
oh no, I might actually have to take it.
No, who put my hand up for this? It weren't me. So yeah, but I knew I was the first one.
How did that feel? That moment you've got you're walking up. You've got. How does that feel? Because I can't imagine that.
It's really weird. So like the 2 penalties before you. I know it's horrible, but you're praying one of the Wycombe player misses. You go, oh, miss, please, because I don't have to take the miss, and he scores. So the one before me, Marcus Bean, he stepped up, and I've known Beanie a long while. I was like, oh, God, Beanie, you'll miss this, and then I ain't got to go through the pain. And then when he scored, your first initial is like, oh no, oh no, it's me. I was more worried about. I knew my dad and my mum weren't well at the time. My dad followed my career, home and away for 20 years. My brother, and they're the most nervous people ever. when it comes to me playing. So I was more worried about how my dad. I think, oh, Dad, don't have a heart attack right before I even take the penalty. Just on fire. So I'm more worried about me. I knew my brother and my dad would be panicking. But it's weird. As soon as then I stepped up to walk to go and get the ball, I was really calm, really focused. I thought, well, blank everything out. I didn't look at the Wycombe punters behind the goal. Didn't look at the goalkeeper. I knew exactly what I was going to do. So I was really quite relaxed. I was quite relaxed. I would have walked up. Because in my head before, I thought, oh, don't let this be your legacy, how you leave the club. You know, everyone's just going to go, you missed the penalty, because they would do naturally. And I thought, I can't have that. So it was just right, putting the ball down and I mean it as hard as I can. If the keeper's in the way, going in with it. That was it. I'm not going to lie though, it was a big because the problem is when you go for power, the ball obviously rises.
It goes up.
So my one worry was I've been practicing all week and it's been fine. I hadn't actually hit it as high as that in practice, and I'm thinking just don't sky it. So when it hit the back of the net, there was a massive relief, as you can all see in my celebration.
It's honestly, I think it's the hardest I've ever seen anyone hit a penalty.
It was you get them little moments. It was my moment at the end of my career. This is the cherry on the cake at Wembley. There's no way this isn't going in. And I knew, because you're linked with the club and where you was at, I knew there was a lot of people that as soon as I stepped up, my wife, she's got it when she's filming all around the family, and they're going, oh, Adam, I don't fit to take one, And it's like, oh, Adam's up. And it's like, oh, shit. Oh. There was a lot of people that they wouldn't have wanted me to miss, so
I'd have to put myself in that category as well. And I remember, I mean this as a compliment.
No.
But yours was the penalty that I found the hardest to watch because of your connections to the club. I was like, this bloke he's a fan just like the rest of us. I was like, if he misses, I think my heart's going to break into 1,000 pieces and never get put back together again.
But Scott, I had that in my head, and I knew, because I know so many, supporters, friends, all at the club, and I knew that none of them wanted you to miss. And if I'd have missed, it would have been, it'd have been horrendous. It would have been absolutely horrendous. Because, like I said, that sticks with you then. Well, no matter what you've done in your career, it would have been, you missed the penalty and put us out. It would have been all that. So
nobody remembers the good times.
But no, it was just sure. What a moment! Like in all your career, there's certain moments that really stick out, and that, that 10 seconds of, the walk and the roller coaster of emotions, to see it hit the back of the net was, a big relief, and a great moment for myself.
And then obviously, I guess later on, how many penalties was it afterwards when obviously Bentley saved one? I mean, it's
3, 3 or 4 was it?
2, 3. Yeah, I can't. It finished 7-6.
We had Bolger took, Westy took after me.
Tim then after you, was he? Or
Tim's was just before me, I think.
I can't remember. It's all blurred.
Maybe that was it. Well, we only had 3 left, didn't we? The 3 left were John White, Barry Core, and then it would have been Bentley.
Right. Yeah. So
we took 8, and obviously Coker missed. Yeah. So we had 3 left.
Yeah.
So
a few after, but
couple after.
I think and I know it sounds silly, but that moment when you scored as well, it's almost like, I've done my bit. I can relax. It is a relief, and it's, even though you haven't won, like from a pure personal thing and probably a selfish thing, I think everyone, if you ask them honestly, when they've taken their penalty and if you've scored, it's like a big relief to done my bit, and it's almost like a bit of pressure off then. And after I'd done that, I just thought, no, we'll win this. He's going to save one. We're going to go and win this. It's a matter of time. And when he did, great ending to a game. People are not sure on penalty shootouts. I've been on the receiving end. I've lost them. I lost one at Palace when I was away at Portsmouth in the Cup, and it's tough. But I still feel it's great drama. It's be involved in it. It can be horrible, but it can be great. And for supporters, like I said, you're looking like this. And
honestly, that's literally what I was like. I was watching it from my fingers. I was like, oh, this is horrible. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
We've all been there. I mean, you go back like England game Euro '96, and obviously we lost against the Germans, but the drama of beating the Spanish, when I think it's great. It's great drama.
Yeah. It's a nice one to sort of tick off the list as well, because when you look back, you think I've seen a lot being a Southend fan, and that was I'd never seen us win a shootout before, and I'd never seen us get promoted via a shootout before. So it was one to tick off the list, but it was a nerve-wracking one.
It was nice to go to I was at Gillingham at the time, and I went to the JTP final when you got beat, and it was nice to go to Wembley and actually win. I went there for Southend when Phil Brown's first game in charge. I just got promoted with Gillingham the day before, so I was a little bit worse for wear. I'd had a few beers come to the Southend game, but so it was nice to go to, like you said, a big occasion. And to do it with your hometown club, it was it was one of them days where I think we all remember, and it was just a great occasion.
Yeah. There's a great photo of you, and it's about 10 seconds after the penalty's been saved, of you and Barry Core just with sheer emotion, just hugging each other. It's just a great photo.
Just an embrace, yeah.
I was used to fighting with Barry. I think that's the closest we got. But it was like I said, a real good group of guys, and just to come through it at the end the way we did. Like I said, it's special moments, and that will live with us all, for the rest of our time.
Yeah, definitely.
So that like. Promotion gets confirmed. Bentley saves their final penalty. Whatever, we've lifted the trophy. It's kind of simmered down a little bit. You're kind of walking around the pitch, like getting scarves thrown at you, whatever. At this point, you've still announced your retirement.
Yeah.
Was there any part of you that was like, this is the perfect way to like ride off into the sunset? At that point, were you ever intending on going back on your decision?
It was a difficult one. I didn't think on the day. I can remember the day, like I said before, it was quite an emotional day for me, because I even remember like when we first got to Wembley and I was out on the pitch. So I think when you're younger, you don't really take it in. I went to Cardiff and it's just another game, right? Bang, next one. You're getting on with your career. You're not. So I really did appreciate the whole day, the whole event, what it meant. I remember stood out, the gaffer had to come and get me in for the team talk. So I just stood there and I was just taking it all in. To have your family and everyone there, to the national anthem. I remember that, stood next to, I said to the Irish boys, I want to hear you sing. We're going to sing this and we're going to sing it like you're playing for England. This is what it means. It was just a very sort of surreal day. And even when we picked the trophy up, I remember I stood on the end. The lads were all in the middle with a trophy and a pit. And the first, I just stood there and I just watched. I just stood on the steps at Wembley and I just looked round at the supporters and I just took it in. And it was brilliant. I wouldn't have done that, at 25, 26. I would have been there with a beer in my hand and, jumping up and down like a loony. So to really take the whole occasion in, I've got more vivid memories of that than probably anything else, because like I said, I just soaked it up. So walking around the pitch at the end, I was just enjoying the moment. I weren't thinking about anything after. I wasn't thinking about my retirement. The gaffer, we went back to the exchange or whatever it is in Hamlet Court Road, and the gaffer tried to talk to me. He pulled us in the corner, we had a few beers, and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing next year?" And started trying. And I was just like,
now he wants to talk to you.
Yeah, it was I'd done well for it. So, and I think obviously I'd strengthened my case. I think a lot of question marks had been that the supporters probably out of us. A lot of supporters, when they had question marks about me coming back, I think I got rid of that, because you'd come in and shown that you can still play and you still got some in the tank. And I knew, like I said before, I announced my retirement for a reason. Deep down, did I really want to retire at that stage? Probably not. But I'd done it for a reason. So. But on the actual day and the Wembley date, there was I was just enjoying the moment, to be honest, Scott. And if it finished there, I was a happy man. Like if I'd come back to me and says, we don't want you here next year. You're done. Not a problem. I would have been happy to go. What a great way to go out. But I don't regret carrying on because I went and played the following season. And had a good season as well. I had a strong season that year. I had some really good moments, and then, they give me Phil gave me the armband back, which at the time I didn't want because John was the captain at the time, and I actually turned around and said to him, "Give it to a younger guy, and I'll help the younger fella. It's not for me now. I'm at a stage in my career. I don't need the armband. It's not about." But they was insistent on giving me on. So I don't regret, carrying on, and that we had talks a couple of weeks after, and the club said, we'd like you to continue, and I felt obviously on the high of that. I thought, no, I've got more in the tank here, but I still felt I had a lot to offer the football club, even if it weren't playing week in, week out. And that's what really disappointed me when I left. I felt I had so much to offer, moving forward and moving now into my next career. I'm on the doorstep. It's a club I want to be at, hungry to do well, learning now. Obviously, you're coaching, and so I felt that I would be involved with a football club, longer than what it was. But at that precise moment in time, it was just all about enjoy the day, enjoy that. It doesn't happen, I've had 20 years in my career and haven't had a day as good as that. You've got to enjoy their moments. It's the same with supporters, enjoy it, because, like you said, a few years later, we're sat here all depressed on what's going on.
It's true. It's like, we're like, as I said, we've actually had a lot of good times, haven't we? Down the years, we've had quite a lot. I've had the best moments of my career at the Southend, but I've also had some really tough times as well. Like I said, I spoke earlier, and the way it ended both times has been really, really tough for me to deal with. But that's football, isn't it? That's why you got to really enjoy the good moments. That's why you got to just make the most of it, and we certainly did that.
Yeah, good night out as well after the playoffs, was it?
Do you know what? It was everyone says that. I went and met the wife and kids up in the lounge and had a couple of drinks with them, and then the lads were all adamant to go out. So we went down in Hamlet Court Road to finish the exchange and had a few beers in there. And then we went into town. I think Mayhem was the club at the time. Like I said, I was way past. I was 35, 36. But we went there. We was in our tracksuits. They wouldn't let us in. It was all in our tracksuits, and the nightclub didn't let us in. So then we went in Dick Levine's next door. But to be honest, I was knackered mentally, and I think a few of us. Everyone goes, was the night amazing? But it's so draining, and you probably all find it yourself. You build yourself up mentally, physically, extra time, the emotions of it all. I was just drained. So I had a few beers, a few drinks with the lads, and I think I dropped the shoulder and was tucked up in bed quite early. Because it dragged on as well, the day, getting back from London, you mentally just, like I said.
And it was an evening game as well. It wasn't like a 3 o'clock kickoff. It was a late kickoff. Yeah. Because I remember thinking that when we got back to Southend, it was about 11 o'clock. It's like, you think, well, I only went to football. You're not thinking. It was like a 5:30 game that went all the way to extra time. Yeah, it was a long slog.
Even back in the town, it was quite quiet. It wasn't like mobbed or. So yeah, no, it was quite a reserved sort of party after. It wasn't. We didn't have anything special, that's for sure. I wouldn't say Dick Levine's put on.
Dick Levine's in your club tracksuits though.
Yeah, your club tracksuit. Yeah. So glamorous.
They must have been laughing though, seeing like Mayhem turn you away. I bet they were literally like rolling out a red carpet. Coming here.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it because we was all there, like the whole squad. I mean, I was quite happy they turned us away, to be honest. But no, it's I don't know, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. You just think, come on, enjoy. How often does this happen? Everyone's on a crest away. There were supporters outside. Come on, get in, go and have a drink, mingle with people, and it was. No, they just weren't. We weren't in the correct attire. They didn't like the tracksuit, obviously. So yeah, is what it is.
Corner from Gower to deep one again, and Barrett has got the winner, surely! In injury time at the end of this match, Adam Barrett!
You do end up staying on for another year and then another year after that. But this is where we come to the end, where we didn't have a good start to the season.
No.
I think we were 22nd, so we're in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Can't remember exactly where we were, but we've had a rough start. And was it Rochdale away?
Yeah.
I think it was after that. It was the press after that. You did the interview, and you said we need to face up to a relegation battle. Like, we're 22nd in the league after 12 games, something like that. And you didn't play a league game again after that. So was that comment not very well received?
No, I don't. People talk about the comment, and I don't really.
It was true. Like, I want to put it out there. I think you were right. I think you have to face up to these things early on, or you get dragged into it.
People talk about 10 games, see where you are at 10 games, and then you sort of get an idea of where you're at. And don't forget, that's not the end of the season, it's 10 games in. But, I don't get it, because what supporters want to hear, what people who pay their money, and they want to hear the truth. And they hear so many cliches and so many, waffle comments a lot of the time. And I come out at the time, and I was in that dressing room. I was at that training ground every day. I knew exactly where we were at the time. There'd been a few choice words said in a few dressing rooms on match days previous to that. There was things going on I weren't happy with. There was a lot going on behind the scenes, which I don't think were good, weren't professional. The club standards were dropping. So I come out and I was honest. And if people don't like it that you was honest, then so be it. Because I meant every word I said that day. And and people need to be realistic. Don't think you're better than what you are. And you've got to go back and you've got to work hard. Now, I don't think them comments were any reason why I didn't feature for the club again. I think there was other issues there. Like I said previously, I don't think Phil was ever that keen on me being at the football club. And I think he was just waiting for a moment to get me out of the way. But to do it the way it was done was, I thought very, very disrespectful. And like I said, I don't think I deserved to be put through. And that spell from after the Rochdale game to when I left was the toughest in all my 20 years that I've ever faced at any football club. And to have it done by the club that means the most to me, I found that really difficult mentally to get my head round. That was a tough spell for me, that. But the comments weren't anything to do with it. At the time, that's where the club was, and everyone who was at Rochdale and a few of the games before would have seen that. We was a bit all over the place, and we need to face up and like I said, be truthful where you are. That's where we were in the league at the time. So just not try and hide the fact and just think, oh, next week will be all right. Next week will be all right. So that's. But there'd been a few issues before, and that was going on, and then all of a sudden this, that just seemed to be the occasion. But it was very, very, very disappointing after that. And it weren't about not playing, Scott. It weren't about that at the time, because I was at a stage in my career. I had chats when they give me the armband in the summer. Now you can go from being given the armband, which I said, look, I don't want the armband. I really appreciate it's an honour, as it always is, but give it to one of the younger lads and I'll help them. I weren't in it. If I didn't play every week, it weren't an issue. If I didn't play, it weren't an issue. I was there at the club then, and I said to her, I was there to help. I'm there now to help in any capacity that I can do. I've got a hell of a lot to offer. But maybe that was a reason that I weren't wanted around. I don't know. But it was, like I said, it weren't comments. People talk about it. I just think that. What do people want me to do? If I come out and spun some yarn and some waffle, then they go, oh, it's same old cliches, I'm listening to this. So I just come out and was truthful where we were at that precise moment in time.
Do you reckon you don't have to answer this, but do you reckon he felt threatened, Phil Brown, at all, if that makes sense, by your seniority and you like I say, you're well liked probably within the squad and within the fan base, so...
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what Phil's faults were at the time and reasons. I don't know because he didn't talk to us. So I never got an answer. So, and when I tried to get an answer,
You got the classic Phil Brown spiel, I take it.
I just didn't get an answer. So I still don't know to this day why what was done to me was done. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a strange. It's a very. I think in my opinion, it shows a weak person to do that. Really, you know, if he didn't want you but told you, you probably couldn't argue with it. You'd be like, fair enough, he told me, that's it. You know.
I even offered I said from day one, like I said, after the Wembley, if that's all I'm here for and that's done, and you want me to go, I'll go. There was no issue. I weren't, you know, I was quite relaxed with it. I was coming towards the end of my playing career. I was now concentrating on my next stage of my career where I want to be a manager. No secret, mate. No secret about that. That's where I want to be. But I weren't there to take anyone's job. I weren't there, you know, I was there to work for Southend United and give them everything I've got in whatever capacity that was. So whether it's playing, behind the scene, whatever it was, I was there to help. And that's why, just to be, you know, to be treated the way I was treated in them last few months, it was really hurtful. It really was. It was like I said, to go from the best moments in your career to total. It was embarrassing as well. I was embarrassed because I live in the area. Every time you go, what's going on? The questions, everyone's questioning what's going on. I can't. Every time you go shopping, everyone's asking you a question, and you're embarrassed because you're not involved as well. And you're like, well, I don't know. I can't. And I had no answers. And then I'd just get wound up. You know, I was getting angry with it all because all it was frustrating. You know, and there was things going on behind the scenes which I just didn't agree with. You know, it wasn't professional. Standards were not great. And I know the club had a little bounce back that year and nearly got in the playoffs. And people think, but from the out, it was only ever going one way. That for me was a lucky little jerk because I knew where it was going, and eventually that's where it did.
And it's where we are now.
No, but I could see it happening, Scott, and that's the honest truth. And at the time, that's why I was battling so hard because there were so many things that I knew weren't right. And I know the club had a little bounce, like I said, nearly got the playoffs, and but it was only going one way, and it was just a matter of time before it all sort of imploded and went the way it was going. So, but like I said, it is what it is. That's football. You know, you get on with it. But yeah, it was disappointing. Of course, it was because at the time, even when I left, I still found it. You know, at the time, you know, Millwall showed the faith in me to go and be a first team coach, and I'm just thinking, I'm in the door at Southend. I've offered all my service. You know, I'm here, passionate about the football club, know the club inside out, know the leagues inside out, and you're just letting me go to a rival.
Who at the time in the same division?
In the same division, and then we picked you for the playoff place and went up. So there was a little bit of, you know, it was sad, you know, because of nothing more than love to see Southend, you know, go up. But when I left, and obviously I was at Millwall, and we picked you for the fit. That was a nice one for me with Phil personally.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone would begrudge you that, to be honest, from a personal standpoint, the way you were treated.
Yeah, it weren't about Southend and Millwall in my eyes then. That's where it was. But yeah, that's football. These things happen, and I've got no problem. I just wish from day one it would have just been done better. That's all. I just wish it would have been done more respectful. And I come out and I even said, if you don't want me, not a problem. Just tell me and I'll go. It's no issue. There's no, you know, that's football. You know, these things happen. But
do you think it would have been helped if we'd have had I think I'm right in thinking that the start of that season, didn't Steve Kavanagh join Millwall? So obviously wasn't there a gap in the CEO for us? Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, I don't know if that would have made any difference to my situation. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that.
No, the reason I'm sort of saying it is because like I personally felt that things were a lot better run at Southend with him there, and ever since he's left, it seems to have been a bit of a car crash. And I'm almost wondering if, almost like you're saying, like certain things were happening. Potentially, was the gap in the CEO, was that affecting it?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the CEO is an important link at any football club. He is. I mean, Steve Cav's an important link at ours. You know, between the chairman and the manager and the staff. Yeah, maybe. I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on behind the scenes at the moment. I mean, obviously, it's just been a tough period for the football club. But I think there definitely needs to be a plan in place to get the club back on its feet and move in the right direction, but do it sensibly. You know, and I don't think it's done that over the last few years. Well, it hasn't, because, you know, results, proofs in the pudding of where the club's been heading. It's been spiralling out, you know, it's been spiralling downwards for a while now. So I think it needs to regroup, and I think it needs a proper plan and a structure in place, and a sensible one to move the club back forward. And I know football, you know, there's pipe dreams and people look and go, oh, and, you know, my time, so everyone's looking at championship, but you've got to do it sensibly, and you've got to try and get there properly. You can't get there quickly and expect to stay there. You've got to have so many things in place behind the scenes. And, you know, the championship now, it's such a big league financially as well, and it's so difficult to compete. And even though, like at Millwall, we're a small club, but the investment that we've made behind the scenes to get things in place, to give us that, you know, to give us that stability to move us forward then on the playing side is huge. And I just think Southend need to go back to square one and really start doing it in small steps, and don't just think, you know, if they go down to League Two, don't just think you're going to bounce straight back up. It's not as easy as that, even though you're a big club in League Two. For me, it's now looking after the long term of the football club and move it in the right direction. But, you know, do it sensibly. Don't put the club or make it, you know, it's just been a mess, hasn't it, for a while, which is what we don't want to see. None of us want to see it. And, you know, we want to see Southend moving forward, and because it's got so much potential. It really has got so much potential, and we've been part of it. You've been part of it, supporters. I've been part of it. When you see it, when it does take off, and it's a great place to be. And I just hope, and I'm sure it will. You know, there's a lot of good people there, and I'm sure, you know, it will get turned around, and hopefully it can come through this difficult period and start moving upwards again.
Ball is going to go back in from Mayer, and it's gone in off the head of Adam Barrett. And Adam Barrett's goal-scoring season just gets better and better. Barrett's come up again from the back. Unbelievable. Second of the afternoon, and the Adam Barrett bandwagon just goes rolling on and on.
This season, you were interviewed for the job, weren't you? You and Tilly went in.
Yeah, I spoke. Well, I had a meeting with Ron, yes, this year. So yeah, that was well documented, and he met me for a chat. Yeah, and that was
but you never really felt like you were going to get it then at that stage, because it was so public how he was going after Henrik Larsson at the same time, which was just
I think
we won't go into that, but
no, I think at the time, Scott, I mean, Neil had just left Millwall unexpectedly, and I'd been given the reins at Millwall as temporary manager. So when that all come about, obviously at the time I was Millwall manager, acting as, and you know, forever thankful for them that, you know, they showed a lot of faith in me. They put me in charge for the 3 games, and you know, asked me to apply for the Millwall job. So it was a bit of a whirlwind sort of situation, because there was a lot of rumours about the Southend job. Obviously, I spoke with Ron, but I was, you know, I've just then been given the Millwall manager's role for 3 games, and they've been brilliant. The board and the chairman at Millwall have been fantastic, so supportive. Like I said, showed a hell of a lot of trust in me. Been very, very complimentary, and even though, which was the right decision when Gary Rowett got the job, they were adamant that I stayed at the club. So I can't thank Millwall enough. Like I said, they've been, even in completing me pro licence, very, very supportive, and so I can't speak highly enough of them. The Southend thing was there, and I suppose it always will be when there's a job available and the manager's see it come up. I've made no secret that I want to be a manager one day. I feel I'm going to be a manager. I've had 3 great years as first team coach at Millwall. You know, close to being in the playoffs one year. We managed to stay up last year. Again, we're challenging for the playoffs this year. Learned so much off another manager now. So I've learned off 2 different managers. One, Gary Rowett, now really experienced, which has been great for me. So I'm in a really good place. I'm in a good club, and I'm in a good stage of my next career, and thoroughly enjoying what I'm doing. So if the Southend thing comes up and the club want me, and then obviously I'd sit down and talk about it. But that's as far as it got, really. It's never come to that. Like I said, I had a chat with Ron, and that was it. And but nothing more of it.
No, fair enough. Yeah, it was weird, all that situation. I'm not entirely sure he knew himself what he wanted for quite a long time. It was baffling to be a part of that.
I think the club, like I said before, I mean, even last year, it was on a downward spiral for, the second half of last season, and then this season, it's been a, worst home record in the club's history last year. Then going into this season, I mean, it's been, it hasn't been great. Nice to get the football back. Well, maybe
Did you watch any of the German stuff?
I didn't. We've been watching quite a lot of the German, because we're looking at quite a lot of German players now, Bundesliga.
Oh,
right. So I've seen quite a bit of it. It is weird.
Yeah.
It was almost like an indoor 5-a-side, wasn't it? Like in the sports hall, you could hear everything.
I didn't get it. Did you see the Borussia Dortmund one though? So there's no punters in the stadium, but then outside there's like a bar where they've got restaurants that open. People are all sitting out there. They've got the screen on, and they're all sitting around there having a beer. And I'm thinking, it don't really add up.
Yeah.
Like people in a bar, all sitting there having a
Might
beer.
as well let them in.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's weird, but I think that we've got to, even if it gets it back on, and that's what it is, then we deal with it. And
yeah. To get this season done, then I think they'll try and drastically have, even if it means next season could have to start at the start of the year, could have to start in January or something weird like that.
I think I think it's important we get this season done, even for like actually it'd be like Liverpool when you
25 points clear.
20, you waited 30 years for a title, and it's just wrong, isn't it? Wrong not to, you've got Leeds at our level, like 16 years have been waiting for a Premier League return, and you take it away from them. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, when you say everything like that, somehow we have to finish it.
Yeah,
we do have to finish it.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, how do the Millwall players feel towards it? Because I was listening to an interview with, all right, it's League 2, so it's obviously been cancelled now, whatever. But Ryan Lowe was talking about he's got 3 players with asthma, one with diabetes, and I think 2 others that have health issues. So, I mean, do you have any players like that, or are they worried? Or
we had a couple of players who was a little bit nervous at the start, but to be honest, we was in last week individual training, and every one of them can't wait to be back. I think it depends. It depends where you're at as well. See, our lads are looking at it, thinking, get the season back on. There's actually a belief in the group we're going to be in the playoffs. So they're all looking at it like this could be our best ever chance to get in the Premier League. So as our club, we're quite lucky. A lot of the lads, every one of them's dying to get back and play. And I think the only thing with football is if you're getting tested twice a week, the environment that you're going into, I mean, it's cleaned, professionally cleaned, everything, the equipment, the ball, everything's done, social distance. So all the rules, you're probably as safe there as you're outside. Like I said, you're at more risk going Tesco's and doing your shopping.
Yeah, no, you're in the safest place. Do you know what? Even I wouldn't even say a hospital necessarily that safe anymore.
No,
Because you could probably got more chance of picking it up in there, pick up any sort of germ in a hospital, can't you?
you've got more people infected there than
Yeah.
and football as a whole as well. You've got an age range where lads are in the peak of their fitness. They're not vulnerable. I think the only thing, if you've got players with like heart defects or got problems, you know, then the club will know about that anyway. Obviously, if you're at higher risk, it might be a case of, well, you can't play. You might have to self-isolate.
You're injured, sort of just say you're injured.
Yeah, or whatever it is. But I think as a whole, as a majority, I'll be very surprised if the majority of players don't want to get back playing for the season. Just can't see why they wouldn't do that.
Get back a little bit. How's Leonard settled into Millwall? Because did you have a part time in that, or?
Well, I was obviously highly recommended him, and he settled in, started really well, and then had a little bit of a dip, and then he's been a little bit stop-start with injury. Obviously, the new manager's come in, so the new manager hasn't seen much of him. He got injured in the game I took at Leeds, and he's had a couple of little niggly injuries. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Settled in, like the lads will like him, and he's a good pro. So he's got to come back and fight for his place. Whereas he might have been an automatic under Neil, under Gary now. He's going to have to. He'll play games for us because he's versatile.
Yeah.
But no, he'll be fine. He'll be an important member for us, member of the squad. But no, he's just got to get over his injuries. This break's actually done him a favour.
Yeah.
It got him back up to fitness with the rest of the lads. But no, he's a good lad, Len. He'll be fine. He'll be all right for us.
Free kick. Kevin Mayer isn't happy about the 10 yards away for the wall. But anyway, he takes that free kick. There's Mayer! It's gone in! Touched on by Adam Barrett. And Adam Barrett, from the back, gets his 8th league goal of the campaign. Would you believe that?
It's one final thing. You've kind of alluded to it. But so obviously you want to be a manager in the future. Are you open to almost not anything, but could it almost be completely up north? But if you felt like it was the right opportunity, would you take it?
Yes. Yeah, at the moment, like I said, I'm in a really good job, at a good club, and working for an experienced Championship manager, which is great for me and great for my learning at the moment. There will be a stage at some point that I want to manage. But no, it won't be, I'm just going to take anything. And for me, it's got to be the right one. Obviously, you can't be too picky because it will be your first one where you jump into and take it. But I've got to make sure it's right for me. Because, like I said, I don't want to jump in somewhere and it's totally wrong and all over the place, and then you kill yourself before you've even started. So, no, I'll make sure that when I do it, or the opportunity comes along, that hopefully it's one which I'm not having to take, and I've got a choice on it. I mean, at the moment I'm lucky because I'm in a good job. But, we see. You just don't know in football. It's so hard to say because you just.
I think there's so many crazy chairmen out there. You've really got to pick and choose nowadays, isn't you? So.
It's hard, but then to get your break, and to sometimes you have to take something you might, and then you've got to believe in that you've got enough about you to turn it round. But yeah, at the moment, obviously, like I said, I'm really really enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm sure somewhere down the future, then the right opportunity will come up, and hopefully I'll be in a good position to take it.
Yeah, well, it looks like finally the new stadium's been approved and might start. So maybe it'll be in a few years. Maybe your first game might be at the new route school, should we say?
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, I was hoping to have played there as a player. How long that's taken? I think back in 2006, I was hoping to get my first game in 2008 there. But yeah, who knows? You know. I'd love to see.
How many players have been promised games in that stage?
No. 2 spells.
Yeah. Oh dear. No, I think that's perfect place to leave it. Cheers, Ad. Really appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
Best of luck with everything. Hope things get up and running for you pretty soon again at Millwall.
Yeah, Stay
How you
safe.
getting them playoffs?
I like the old man for us, Scott.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. I'll speak to him.
Yeah, no problem. Take care, chaps.
All the best,
Cheers,
mate.
mate.
Good luck in the
See you
playoffs.
later.
Captain, leader, legend, Adam Barrett.
I can't believe that's not been made into a banner.
No, it was, wasn't it?
I
So
thought
we did have that.
was it not one Adam Barrett? Did it say?
Oh, I don't know.
I think we've lost. I think we lost it.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I think it might have got taken to an away game and someone forgot it.
Not 100% sure. Yeah,
I haven't seen that flag for a long time.
yeah.
But yeah, what
What
a legend. It does get bandied about loosely, that term in football, but that he is a Southend legend.
Yeah, yeah.
3 promotions,
In 2 different spells.
2 different spells,
Right.
and
Captained us. Just everything about it. It was one thing we didn't even mention, to be fair. And I actually wanted to bring it up just as a little, I guess, what did it feel like moment was when he scored against Cole Ewan, the 3-0.
oh yeah,
In that the first League One season, or the season back in League One. Obviously, when we spanked him 3-0. Just because obviously he got a bit of stick from it, didn't he? Back in the day. And
well, it was because he had that one where that
really,
sand pit of a pitch.
absolute joke that was, but yeah, but us just what a bloke. I mean, I'm not a footballer, I'm shite, but if I was, I'd run for a bit rules as a bloke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
It's weird, isn't it? You could just hear these people speak for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be, and they in this period where there's no live football. Like right now, we've just finished talking to him. I'm buzzing for a game of football.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
I'd love nothing more than a game of football right now.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken to someone that is just
Passionate
football
about it.
through and through and through.
Yeah.
No, the cliche eat, sleep, breathe football. That is him down to a T.
Yeah.
And yeah, same as you. I'd like walk on glass for him, to throw a different cliche in there to you.
And whilst I'm sat here, I said it before, I can't see him not managing us, at least at some point in the future. I'd be absolutely gutted if I ever see him on the touchline. He's in the away dugout. Like, not as a coach, a bit different, but if he goes into management and it's not with us, and it's in the same league, it would just be horrible to see. It sounds pathetic, but
Again, this is my kind of possibly elaborate theory, but I'm kind of hoping, in a roundabout way, Ron Martin didn't give it to him this time around. Because deep down, Ron knew what shit show was coming in the January, where all the big earners were going. Nobody was going to be able to come in, and kind of like a grandfather figure almost didn't want to put that burden on him. That's what I hope. Probably completely untrue, but that is kind of what I hope. That the reason he didn't give it to him was because that was, my God, was that a poison chalice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Obviously, he spoke about it then, didn't he? And it was a bit. I guess he never really. Yeah, he didn't really feel he was ever going to get the job, really, or he just had a job. It sounded like it wasn't an interview as such. It was
it's just said we had a conversation, or had a chat.
With it. So yeah, maybe he thought, not at the moment. Go somewhere else. Maybe that's what Ron's thinking. If you go somewhere else, but at the same time,
that's a big risk. You could lose him because, say for example, he goes in somewhere else and does what Gareth Ainsworth done, or what the Cowleys did. They started small. Yeah. Look at them now. They've stormed it.
Yeah. So
there's that risk attached to it as well. If you do want him one day, well, he's not going to wait forever.
No, I don't blame him either.
No, not at all. Not at all. He's made it very clear he wants to do it. He's gone and got the highest license there is to do it.
Yeah.
He's got his pro license.
Really enjoying himself at Millwall, which is great. It sounds like, because they are, whatever you think about them, they are sort of like a proper club, if you know what I mean. Like, you do see him as a proper club, with the fans behind them and that. And I think it's almost like it's a bit of him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's got the backing of the board, and they seem like they're good. The infrastructure.
Well, it's good. Local as well, isn't it? He's not got to go very far. There's probably almost a home from home feel for it, because there's a lot of ex-Southend staff and players have passed through Millwall as well over the last few years.
Yeah. If it comes back, that he was saying, they could push for playoffs. they're going one way and we're going the polar opposite.
Yeah,
So-
you could quite easily have next season, Southend will be in League Two. Millwall could be in the Premier League. Could be in the Premier League.
Yeah, so I mean, it might have ended. It was a bitter ending, but I mean, he's certainly doing well now himself. So it's good to see, really, and it's just good to see the passion he has for football and obviously Southend as well.
Yeah, no, I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
We could have chatted for ages. Well, we did chat for ages, but
yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. So I absolutely loved it. I absolutely love talking to him. So.
Yeah, that'll be one. I think I'll be very vain and I'll listen to that one for over and over again.
Yeah. So anyway, hope you all enjoy it. Hopefully we can get another few lined up soon.
We're under pressure now. Well, we got to keep lining the guests up.
Yeah,
we need
we'll get
like one a week.
We'll get Ron Martin.
Yeah, we'll get people on. We're not talk sport. He won't talk to us.
Good point. Yeah, I'm not Jim White, so thank fuck. Right.
Hey, keep listening, keep subscribing, leave a review, all that jazz. If you've done all that, see you later.
Bad up.
Neat turn by Bentley. Has to go back to go forward. Mayer. Now Duncan Jupp, the former Wimbledon man, into the attack. Headed goal by Barrett against his former side. He's played brilliantly all evening and he gets the goal that he deserves. Southend back on terms. Bristol Rovers 1, Southend 1.